Hello everyone and welcome to my sewing room. If you are one of my regulars and you watch me all the time, you know that we have been kind of sticking with PE design for the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, I haven't done anything in a while. I've had some stuff going on with my mom. I know it's really hard to believe, but I still have a mom and she hasn't been doing very well. So there might be some gaps in between some of the videos. But anyway, we're still doing the PE design and we're doing the block of the month. I'm going to be teaching a class on this program. If you live in the Denver area and you want to come to my block of the month class, it'll be starting in January and it should be a lot of fun, all done in the hoop. So the first one that we did was this one here, which is just some pin cushions and a flower, and that one's really fun. And then we have an S, and then we have an E, and so now we're going to do a W. So let's go to the computer and get started on the next block. Okay, so I'm ready to start block number 4, and I'm not going to do the whole block for you because it's going to just be too repetitive, but I thought it would be fun to make another spool of thread, and this time make this spool of thread more like what you think of when somebody says spool of thread, with a flat top and a flat bottom. So the first thing I need to do is I need to draw a an oval, and I'm going to make this obviously much bigger than the original, the finished product is going to be. And then I'm going to say Control D and I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to move it just a little bit up above where it was before. Let's go home and let's zoom in so we can see more what the heck I'm doing here. Okay, so this one needs to be just slightly above this one. Okay, so then what I want to do is I want to select the one on the bottom and I want to add tools to it. And then I'm going to add another one here and say to straight and pull that one this way. Actually, I think pull it all the way over this way. And then same thing with this one. I'm going to click here, right click to straight and pull that to the end there. And I think I may have created this pretty good. I think it looks good, like the top of a spool of thread. So let's select both of them. And remove overlap. There. So that's going to look pretty good that way. And then if I select this top one, shapes, this has got a running stitch, but I want it to be probably dark brown. This one is going to be light brown. There. And same thing with this one. Let's make it light brown and this one dark brown. Okay, so then let's look at it under view, realistic preview. Hey, I like that. That came out pretty good. Okay, we need a circle in the top of it, right? So let's go home and let's select this one and Control D again because I want the oval to be pretty much the same. That makes it a lot easier than trying to redraw one exactly the same. And we're going to put it about right there. This one's more something I'm eyeballing. I'm hoping to get it right. Okay, I think that's where I want that to be. So now I'm going to select this one and hold down my control and select the other one and then remove overlap and then select this one and say don't sew. Don't sew. Okay, so now I've created that part there. Um, and then the next part I want to do, let's go zoom all. I want to do this kind of like the same thing on the bottom. And let's actually, I think what I want to do is let's just select this one and say Control D. I don't know whether this is going to work or not, but we're going to try it. I'm going to put it straight up and down through here, there. Now I'm going to draw the inside part of the spool, and that is going to be a square. And we're just going to draw it like this. Yeah, let's just draw it this big to start with. Fill stitch. And just make it like light blue for right now. Okay, so I want to draw an oval that goes across here. Select this one. Control, select this one. Modify, overlap, merge. Okay, those two are merged. So now this is going to go right here. And this one's going to go up here. And this one is going to go, actually, undo that. Oh my gosh, undo. Let's get that out of the way. This part here has to be grouped. Right click, group. Okay, because that way it'll move over together at the same time. Now let's bring this one up here. And then, so this part here has to go first. There's the mistake right there. Took me a long time, and I'm sorry that I had to kind of stop and come back, but I had to figure out which one that was in the wrong place, and it's this one here. This one has to be sewn before. Okay, so now I kind of got it figured out the way it's supposed to be. So that actually looks like a spool of thread to me, with the exception of this part right here obviously got left down here. This one has to come down here. Okay, I think I finally got them all back in the right order so it looks the way I want it to look. So I need to, at this point, I need to remove overlaps. So I'm going to select, well, let me see. I'm going to try and see if I select the whole thing, if it'll actually let me remove overlaps under the whole thing all at once. And it did. It worked. So I was able to remove all the overlaps and everything. And now that I've done that, I actually would like to sew all the browns at the same time. So even though I spent all that time moving these, I'm going to put these two together. I'm going to put this one with this one. Took me a little bit of messing around, moving them up and down, but I think I finally got this the way that I want it to be in the right order. So it's going to sew the spool of thread first and the outline for the spool of thread, and then the light brown and then the dark brown outline for that part. So now that looks, I think that looks pretty good. So now I want to make it kind of look more like a spool of thread. And I've actually seen people draw lines across it, and that would probably work, but I'm going to try something. I'm not even sure if it's going to work. But I'm going to select this one and I'm going to say Control D so that I've duplicated it. And there's another one on here. So let's move it up here. And then what I'm going to do is, let me just delete that second one I just made for a second. There's a better way of doing this so you don't have to make sure you line it up. And the better way to do it is select it, right click, and copy, and then right click and paste. And that will put it right on top. I don't think I did it. Let's see, right click, paste, paste. There it is. So now I have a duplicate down here of the same thing, but you can't tell. It's right on top of it, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. So first thing I want to do is I want to go under the shapes and tell it not to outline this, not sewn for the outline. And then for the fill, I want to tell it to do a piping stitch, and I'm going to make that a dark blue. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to, let's see, change the density right here. And I think I'm going to change the run pitch too of the stitches. And that looks pretty good to me. I think we did a good job. Just straight across, piping stitches across it. It looks like a spool thread to me. So that's going to work for what I want it to be. And I'm going to move it up here so it's actually the same color the same time as it does the outline of the blue, and then it'll do the brown afterwards. So look at that. That's not a bad little spool thread. So I'm going to select this whole thing, and I'm going to right click and group it so it's one design. And one of the cool things about that is I'll be able to do use it in other parts of the picture. I'm going to bring it down so it's smaller than this and bring it in here. Now I've created the W and a pair of scissors. I made the scissors kind of the same way I made the iron last week, so I don't need to show you that again. So I'm going to say import from file, and here is what I've done so far. There's the W and there's that one. So let's bring this whole design, hold the shift key down, select everything that's here, and say sew this last. And since it's grouped, I should be able to just go ahead and make it smaller. Move it right there. I'm going to choose my scissors that I created and put them right here. And you know, I just realized something. the scissors, which are everything that's right here, the scissors, need to be sewn last because they're on top. So let's move them down a little bit. Oh, oh, fiddle. Let's see. I'm going to come in here. I want my scissors to come so they are literally right there. So I think what I need to do is ungroup them. Since I created these myself, I can do what I want with it, right? Let's just put an edit point on there and pull them down. Right there. Right there. Let's get this out of the way. There. That is literally sitting right inside of that spool of thread. But if I really want this to embroider out so it looks nice, let's get this up here. Do I really want to change the order? I don't think I do. Because if I do that, then I'm going to be sewing it a million different ways. Let's just leave it just the way it is. Okay. Get this out of my way. Home. Zoom all. That's not bad. There's a pair of scissors into a spool of thread. And then I'm going to put some other things in this picture, but I just kind of wanted to show you how I would create that spool of thread to make it a little bit easier and make it come out right. So hopefully that was an interesting video for you. Okay, so I hope you learned something really fun with that next block. I don't know if I'm going to do some more on this quilt. I may come back to it, but I know I want to do some more stuff with the Stolaire sewing machine. That's what a lot of you watch me for, is so that you can learn things you can do with your sewing machine. So I think that's where we're going to go next week. But I did want to show you again what this one came out to look like. I think it came out really cute. I added some bobbins on there that I didn't show in the video that were made fairly simply. I think maybe I'll do a video a little bit later on how to create some bobbins. But I think that was a really fun block. Most of this quilt is going to have like floral backgrounds. I'm going to keep it kind of really soft pastel-y looking. I think it's going to be a really great quilt. I can't wait till we get it finished. But I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you learned something, and I hope you come back and watch a lot more of my videos. Make comments, make sure that you subscribe and ask questions, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.